All right, welcome everybody to the show. Hope everybody is having a great Friday so far. And it looks like we're good to go. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it as we always do here at Perfect Soulmates. All right. So, welcome everyone to the Perfect Soulmates show, currently on every Friday, but for every new 10 subscribers we welcome, just as a reminder, look forward to another show. So please share this unique channel to everyone you know today on all your social media and offline. It's about helping others who need it in today's chaotic world, or at least often chaotic, to those who want to speak up and actually solve their own problems. This is a self-help channel, in case you didn't notice yet. So, as always, for anyone new to this channel, or who are returning for another show, be sure to grab a copy of my ebook, a life-changing ebook, and take my life-changing 1-hour video course. Link is down below in the comment section as always. These two products are yours to have forever if you want to live life to the fullest. And I really do mean that. Anybody rolling their eyes to that should be ashamed of themselves. You already failed if you didn't try. So, moving on to today's powerful topic. I guarantee you haven't heard this angle about friend zoning before. Today's topic is friend zoning is abuse. You heard that correctly. It always goes both ways, believe it or not. So, I will be sure to go over men friend zoning women, because that does exist, and of course, the more well-known case of women friend zoning men. And I use men and women very lightly there, because real men and women do not friend zone another person. Those are toxic males and toxic females. So from this point forward, you're going to hear me say it that way. I believe that to be a man or a woman, that's a title, a powerful title that you have to earn. You have to respect and honor to deserve to be called a real man or woman. I take that very much to heart. So, to be friend zoned means that someone is not interested in taking a friendship to the next level. You know me, I always say become friends. Stop playing the dating game. So this means to becoming intimate partners in a serious relationship is not in the equation if you're friend zone. Okay? Taking things to the next level from friendship to an intimate relationship is the ideal thing with a friend of the opposite sex. So if you're being friend zoned, that means that that's out of the picture. So what are you doing wasting your time with that person? We'll get into it. I'm not talking about using each other in a life-wasting, meaningless, friends with benefits scenario, by the way. So let's just get that out of the way. So let's get this whole friend zoning thing correct. How about instead of remaining friends, you move on and forget all about the person who friend zoned you? That's right. You need to avoid this category. Otherwise, you will be stuck in a pointless position supporting someone who is only using you. Please understand that. Do not let them use you. It's nothing cute to be friend zoned. This term is nothing cute, people. It's literally abusive. If somebody tells you that you're friend zoned, the person who's friend zoning you, they're literally telling you that you're nothing but a tool for me to use whenever I want. You think that's too extreme? You'll find out the hard way. Hopefully not. So take heed to what I'm about to say. Let's first go over the lesser known version of friend zoning, which is a male, a toxic male, using a woman as plan B on the back burner. This means if his marriage or current relationship fails, he already has a woman on the back burner as a backup plan. That's the only reason he's friends with her. Same thing. Almost. We'll go over the differences. Very similar. This is literally using a woman, which is why I don't call this type of person a real man. No real man would use other women as backup plans by maintaining friendships with multiple women. This is what people know as being a player, playing around with women's hearts. Unfortunately, people actually tolerate such toxic male behavior. This is a major problem in today's world, still. Many people are treating others as objects, as backup plans, schemers, as only a means to an end, strictly for their own selfish, abusive benefit. You have to think about this, okay? They befriend desperate people willing to stick around for scraps, waiting for their turn in line. Now, is it my turn? Am I the next one up to see if I can become, be in a relationship with this guy? I mean, it's desperate women out there willing to hang around to see if maybe he's going to choose you next. It's so sad. But so many people are stuck in this scenario in their lives, and I really feel sorry for them because they're that desperate to wait for their turn. I mean, wow. It's downright borderline prostitution, if you ask me. Similar to friends with benefits, which is absolutely ridiculous. This is a part of toxic masculinity where macho males treat women like objects and manage them in these types of fake friendships, using them like a deck of cards, calling them side chicks. They're even proud to even say it. Oh yeah, she's my side chick. Garbage. Now let's go over the more common case or popular scenario of friend zoning, where females, toxic females, use men not as their plan B, but as tools, as stuffed animals, if you will, to just sit there and listen to all of their life problems. Now, these toxic females will use men as objects and treat them like complete garbage in many cases. Once again, desperate men, right? They will even go as far as lead you to believe that you both could become partners at any time, just to keep you on the hook of their fishing line. Too many desperate men out there continue to fall for this bait, hoping and believing that one day they will perhaps become a couple forever. And will keep dreaming. My advice to men out there who are stuck in this horrible nightmare of a situation, being used by one or more toxic narcissistic females, is to end the supposed friendship immediately. So no more listening to her long stories, rants, or whining about her daily stresses. How about that? It's so bad that, it's so bad for many desperate young and older men. It's not just for younger or older, it's both, sadly. That they will even remain single and still cling on to these fake relationships, these fake friendships, even when she has a boyfriend or is married. Can you imagine that? This is a huge red flag because she's clearly taken, but they still hope to have something with her. Once again, next in line, right? Am I next in line? What if she divorces? I'll surely be next in line. Are you kidding me? Talk about wasted moments of your life, wasting time. So it's literally you're objectifying yourself. You deserve everything you get at that point. But I guess there's a lot of gullible men and women out there, so desperate. So here's why I am perhaps the only one in the world to label friend zoning as one of the many forms of straight up abuse. Because in a real friendship with people of the same sex, men with male friends, women with female friends, it's completely normal and acceptable. This doesn't mean, however, that there is no such thing as bad friends of the same sex. But when a man is friends with a woman or a woman is friends with a man, the inevitable will always be there. That means the possibility of quickly changing from friends to a couple. Now, you see, that's the way it's supposed to work. I say inevitable because it's natural behavior among human beings. Okay? This is the primary reason to not have any friends of the opposite sex if you are involved in a serious lifelong relationship, by the way. Gotta toss that in there. It's because such a friendship is dangerous, to say the least, if you are already taken. It's dangerous because you are playing with fire, where things can get very awkward very fast. Not only that, but it's not natural to be friends with people of the opposite sex, unless you have other intentions, such as possibly becoming future intimate partners in a relationship. Now, it's probably not a popular opinion, but it's extremely wise to really think about what I'm saying here. because I know that the American way, I know I'm a U.S. citizen. I grew up in the States and in Europe. I'm a dual citizen now of Spain and the U.S. I got the best of both worlds, and I see how people think. What's wrong with a friend of the opposite sex, they say. A lot of things, especially if you're taken already. You're playing with fire, and I'm going to keep going over that. If you have any questions about this, go ahead and fire off some comments, some questions. I will explain it to you. But to each their own. I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to enlighten you. Anyone stuck in the friend zone is being used because the person using you may pretend to care about how you feel, but they only care far more about how they feel. After all, they are the one friend zoning you and not the other way around. That's why it's abusive, because it's narcissistic characteristic. You are trying to get to know this person to hopefully become a couple one day, in your mind, if things look promising enough. They, on the other hand, have absolutely no intention of telling you what they expect in the future. So they could just be leading you on. And they know they're leading you on to their own benefit. That's the whole point of friend zoning. When I say find someone to become good friends with instead of dating, I don't mean go out there and end up foolishly becoming someone else's tool to use for their benefit while you suffer wondering if something great will come out of such a fake friendship. So you got to know the difference here. The signs of someone friend zoning you are very obvious. They will pretend to care about what's going on in your life, but quickly turn back to their life's events, as if everything you just told them has nothing of any significance. There are clear red flags here, okay? Pay attention to their body language, above all else. You gotta ask yourself, are you being manipulated? Is this really a friendship, and where is it going? Is it an acquaintance, or is it a friendship? You gotta know what you're saying, because these labels are powerful. They will even look at you as if you have committed a crime, trying to vent your life frustrations with them. Possibly even accuse you of not paying any attention or enough attention to everything they are telling you. They might even get upset with you and not talk to you for days, weeks, or months as a form of punishment. This is abusive, okay? And it does happen every single day. Narcissistic behavior is inevitable in a friend of the opposite sex who has absolutely no plans to be with you intimately in the future. You have no business being friends, people, okay? One clear sign of being used is if they call you constantly, even wake you up in the middle of the night just so you can listen to their rants. They will treat your fake friendship as if their actual partner... Oh, yeah, that's right. They're going to treat you as if you're their actual partner when obviously you are not. It's really sick. Even if everything seems okay by having a friend of the opposite sex with a mutual agreement to just be friends, talk about awkward, you are both wasting precious moments of your life. Don't kid yourself. Having simple acquaintances, on the other hand, of the opposite sex is absolutely okay. It's just an acquaintance. Nothing wrong with that. But even such acquaintances should be completely cut off once you have found someone of the opposite sex to engage in a serious relationship with after being good friends for a good amount of time. So like I said, know the difference between acquaintance and an actual friendship with the opposite sex. Abusive males using women as side chicks is also known as friend zoning, whether their relationships are sexual or not. Doesn't matter. These abusive males seek to be the supposed king of the hill by having sex with as many women as possible, in many cases. And in the end, they only care about themselves. Meanwhile, yeah, you're like a trophy chick, in other words. Meanwhile, abusive females friend zoning men is all about themselves as well. They need men to tell them how great they are, listen to their problems for hours, perhaps every day, and even be on call for favors or monetary loans. Absolutely anything they can use you for. Talk about being a tool. If a female tells you they just want to be friends with you, that's the red flag, to stay far away from her. To be a simple acquaintance is fine, but if you are looking for a possible future relationship with her, it must be a friendship as the beginning of a possible relationship. Both of you must understand that. It's all about intent, intentions. If a male tells you they need you as a friend and you are interested in a friendship that could possibly turn into a future relationship, also stay far away from him. It's one thing to simply know someone. It's an entirely different thing to call them your friend when we're talking about the opposite sex here, okay? Very, very specific. In the end, whether you are a man or a woman, your intentions must be clear. Let your friend of the opposite sex know whether they are simply an acquaintance or an actual friend, where you both intend on finding out whether a real relationship is possible or not. Wasting time with friends of the opposite sex with no intentions of possibly becoming a couple is a terrible idea. Of course, you should talk with other people about whatever you want to talk about. You're free to do so. But just make sure who is who, just to be safe. Okay? I mean, too many people out there are just messing around. They're playing with fire. Say you have, okay, you're a man, you're involved with, you're in a relationship, maybe you're even married. So you tell me, riddle me this. Why do you need female friends in your life when you already have the best friend you could possibly ever want right by your side? Oh, but everybody does it. I don't care if everybody does it. Think about it. You're playing with fire, right? Because your best friend, your partner, your potential soulmate should be enough for you. You shouldn't need any friends of the opposite sex. And if you once upon a time had friends of the opposite sex, guess what? Now that you're taken, they become acquaintances. Back off. No more calling them friends. Oh, but that's too harsh, you might say. No, it's for your own safety, your mutual safety. That way your partner won't get possibly jealous because she's just trying to trust you. She's just starting to get used to trusting you. And you need to start getting to trust her. Would you like it if she had a lot of male friends on the side? No, even if you trust her, that's why. Why do you need male friends? And the majority of people actually agree with this. I've seen the polls, I've seen the discussions and conversations, everything. I see what people tell me, online and offline. So stop. Because having friends of the opposite sex, you're playing with fire. End of story. I don't care what kind of history you guys had. Because if they're really your friend, quote unquote, then they would understand that they need to back off because now you're in a relationship. They need to respect that relationship. Otherwise, they're playing with fire and you're allowing it to happen. And then you wonder why cheating occurs because the temptation is there. And then also keeping her as a side chick. Or, in the female case, with the woman who's keeping male friends. Why? You see, because when I say perfect soulmates, that means that she represents 100 women in one, and you represent 100 men in one. Doesn't sound realistic? Think about it. Because the moment that you say, oh, but I really need those friends, then you're not with the right person by your side. When you're involved in a relationship that has true love, undeniable true love, I mean lifelong, forever, eternal love, you don't need anything or anyone else. I don't care if you live homeless in a box, a cardboard box. That person next to you should be everything that you need. And you guys both have a chance to make it in life. As long as two heads are better than one, you guys really put your minds and hearts together and figure it out. But don't go disrespecting each other by having friends of the opposite sex. You turn those friends, if that's the case, into simple acquaintances. And you better do it. Because you're playing with fire, as I said. Because one day, and you might say, oh no, that won't happen. Well, guess what? Things happen. Because we're highly sexual creatures. And by the way, if you're not being sexually satisfied by your partner, it's okay. Maybe if they're feeling bad one day, they get sick, they're tired, okay, that's fine. But the sex should be there. The sexuality and the sensuality, which is the act of being feminine, being masculine in a loving, caring way. Sensuality is everything. To care and to love each other. And the sexuality is a must. It's the heart of sensuality. So if you're listening to this and you actually have friends of the opposite sex, you better think about this. And maybe it's already happened. Maybe you already made mistakes and you don't want to tell your partner about it. Maybe you did kiss one of your friends of the opposite sex already. Or, oh, it's because we had too much to drink. Nonsense. Garbage. You're not as in love as you claim to be with your partner. Or even your wife or your husband. You know, relationships, in order for them to succeed for an entire life and beyond death itself, if that's the case, it requires everything. All of your effort and attention. You shouldn't, you know, if you already have a house, let's say a mansion, why do you want another mansion or a little house or an apartment? Oh, it's a vacation spot. Okay, you know what? That house should be everything to you. It's okay to take vacations and hotels and stuff. And we're not talking about real estate. That's a whole different topic, but there's similarities to be made there. There's connections to be made there. So just think about it. Do you really need friends of the opposite sex? Because you're calling them friends. Now, acquaintances, they can be there for you if you need them in an emergency. That's an acquaintance, right? Because when you call the police or you call the medics, those are acquaintances. Okay, I'm so-and-so, I'm here to help. Okay, thanks for answering my call, right? That's something that's, okay, I need you. That's a service, though. But when you're talking about friends that you're going to actually dedicate time with, oh, you know, honey, I'm going to hang out with these female friends of mine at the bar. Are you serious? Did those words literally come out of your mouth just now? And she's fine with it? Really? Or, you know, hey, honey, I'm going to hang out with these guys at the discotheque or something. It doesn't matter. Unless it's a business relationship where they have to work with people of the opposite sex, that's fine. That's fine. But beware, because that stuff can go crooked too. Always happens. Oh, you know what? Don't worry about it, honey. You know, I'm only working with this woman because, you know, she's my associate and, you know, she's a... Yeah, okay, but so late at night, I mean, there's red flags in that scenario too. And if that's legit, it's legit, but be ready to give explanations because it's inevitable. It's not about not trusting you. It's about playing with fire, so avoid the fire, right? Now, in the business scenario where it's your job to speak to other people of the opposite sex, I get it. That's something that your partner has to be willing to accept. But it's just more temptation, isn't it, to those who are weak, who are not as strong, to stay loyal to their partner. So food for thought. Hope you guys enjoyed this stream. I know it's a serious one, but think about it. Friend zoning is abuse. They're using you if you're in the friend zone. This is no laughing matter. Oh, I got friend zoned. No, you just got abused and used. Used and abused. So don't do it. If you find out that, you know, you're looking for something and they're not looking for something, you're wasting your precious life on that person. So get it through your mind. It's never going to be what you think it's going to be if that's the case. Don't have a friendship with a member of the opposite sex and be like, oh, you know, one day she'll come around, or maybe one day she'll leave her boyfriend or husband. And then vice versa with her saying, maybe one day he's going to leave his girlfriend. Maybe one day he's going to leave his wife. You know how sick and toxic that is? That behavior is? You're playing with fire, as I always say. So don't do it. You know? Like I said, there's plenty of fish in the sea. I know we're not fish, but it's just a saying. Go find somebody else to befriend. Somebody who's looking for the same thing. They're tired of playing the dating game that goes nowhere because you guys are actors. You're not being legit, honest, genuine with each other. So it's good to be friends, but it's not that difficult, you know, when you both have the same intentions. That you guys are seeing, okay, let's start off with the friendship and see if it grows into something special, something beautiful. But it's got to be clearly stated from the beginning. Don't be hoping that, because you can't read each other's minds, okay? Make your intentions very clear. Don't be shy. That's being weak and stupid, okay? Be brave, be smart. Let them know what your intentions are. Say, you know what? I'm interested in having a friendship with you because I'm a free man or I'm a free woman. Let's see if this can turn into something special. And that way you avoid the whole dating nonsense and you don't have to be pretenders. You can just be genuine and visit each other's homes and family members, yada, yada. That's fine. So skip the whole dating routine. It's just it's a circus. You don't need it. Hope you guys enjoyed this stream, and we continue to climb with subscribers. So possibly two more shows next week, but guaranteed show every Friday. So much love, everybody. and happy weekend.